Right now, across the Irish Sea, wind gusts are hitting 75 miles per hour. In the next 6 hours, parts of Northern Ireland could see 85-mile-per-hour winds capable of ripping roof tiles from homes. This is Storm Chandra, and if you live anywhere from Cornwall to the Scottish Highlands, the next 24 hours will redefine what you thought you knew about January weather. Within the next 30 seconds, I am going to show you exactly which streets in your town are most at risk of flooding, which roads will be impassable by morning, and the one thing you must do in the next 2 hours to protect your property. But first, let me tell you what's happening right at this very moment. At 8 o'clock this evening, radar shows patches of rain, sleet, and hill snow already hammering northern Scotland. Aberdeen is getting hit. The central belt is getting hit. The southwest of England is getting hit. But here is what makes this different from every other storm you've seen this winter. This isn't just rain. This isn't just wind. This is a triple threat weather system that is bringing all three major hazards simultaneously to different parts of the country. And here is your first reward for watching. If you live in Cornwall, Dorset, or anywhere along the southwest coast, an amber warning has just been extended as far east as Winchester. That means if you were planning to drive tomorrow morning, you need to hear what I am about to tell you at the 3-minute 20-second mark. It could save your life. Let me paint you a picture of what's unfolding. Storm Chandra is pushing up from the southwest right now. Not tomorrow, not in a few hours. Right now, the southern flank of this system is dragging winds across the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland that are making the Irish Sea look like a washing machine. 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts are already widespread. But here is the twist. In exposed inland areas, we're already seeing 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts. Now, I know what you were thinking. You've heard warnings before. You've seen storms come and go. But let me give you a number that should make you sit up straight. Weather models are showing potential gusts of 80 to 85 miles per hour in isolated spots across the northeast of Northern Ireland by tomorrow afternoon. To put that in perspective, that's the same wind speed that classified Storm Gerrit as severe. And remember what Gerrit did to structures that were already weakened. We're about to see round 2. Comment below right now with where you are watching from, your town or city name, and I'll give you specific forecast details for your exact location in the comments. I am monitoring this minute by minute, and I want to make sure you have the information you need. Here is what's happening across central England as we speak. It's looking very wet, not just wet. Very wet. Northern England won't see the majority of its rain until later, through the early hours of Tuesday morning. But when that rain arrives, something fascinating and dangerous happens. Watch this carefully. As the system moves into cooler air, that rain transforms into hill snow over the Pennines. The Yorkshire Dales will see it. The North York Moors will see it. The central and southern belt of Scotland will see it. And across the Scottish Highlands, it is going to be significant. We are talking about 10 to 20 centimetres of snow above 500 metres. That's 4 to 8 inches in old money. By tomorrow afternoon, some of these hills will be impassable. But here is the complication that nobody else is talking about. Northern Ireland is seeing little patches of sleet and hill snow mixed into heavy rain right now. That combination, rain and sleet together, creates one of the most dangerous driving conditions possible. It's worse than pure snow because you can see it coming. The roads look wet until suddenly they are not. By 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, the Republic of Ireland starts to dry out. The southwest of England starts to clear. And this is crucial, it doesn't clear to sunshine. It clears to thick cloud with showery outbreaks throughout Tuesday. Still wet, still miserable, just less catastrophically so. Now, let me take you through central swathe of the UK. Thick cloud, scattered showers, but the continued snow affecting the Highlands, Northern England, the Pennines, the Yorkshire Dales, and that southern central belt of Scotland that persists throughout the rest of Tuesday. The risk eventually transfers further north to the Highlands, which are going to get absolutely battered by more snow again. Here's where it gets interesting. After Tuesday, we move into a drying pattern, similar event, Thursday into Friday. We continue to have wintry showers across Scotland because we've got a southeasterly wind that is just cold enough to bring them in. Pretty widespread for Scotland. But here's the good news for most of you. Central and southern UK, where the majority of the population lives, you're under milder air. Not warm, not pleasant, but milder than what Scotland is dealing with. And at the 3-minute 20-second mark, here's what I promised you. If you are driving tomorrow morning anywhere in the southwest, listen very carefully. Between midnight and 6 in the morning Tuesday, rainfall totals in parts of Cornwall and Dorset could exceed 50 millimeters. That's 2 inches of rain in 6 hours on ground that's already saturated from previous storms. The Met Office hasn't issued an amber warning for fun. Roads will flood, not might flood, will flood. If you absolutely must drive, avoid low-lying areas, don't attempt to cross standing water, and give yourself triple your normal journey time. Now let's talk about wind gusts, because this is what is going to affect the most people. Through the early hours of Tuesday, winds intensified dramatically in the Irish Sea and along the northern coasts of Northern Ireland. We are looking at 40 to 50 miles per hour quite widely. That is uncomfortable. That is annoying, but it is manageable. But here is the number that should concern you. In exposed areas, 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are not just possible, they are likely. By midday Tuesday, that southern flank of the storm system could produce 70 to 80 mile per hour gusts along exposed coastlines. The southwest could see similarly strong gusts, and remember, this is coming with heavy rain. That combination makes driving genuinely treacherous. Here is a specific warning for the northeastern flank of Northern Ireland. METEOROLOGICAL, that is the Irish Meteorological Service, has issued an amber warning. Their exact words are heavy rain and strong winds, which may bring disruption to travel. When the Irish Weather Service uses the word may, they mean will. They read just being polite. Those stronger winds do eventually move northwestward. Northwest Scotland could see 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts. But then, and here is a small piece of good news, things start calming down a little bit. There are hints of more weather features coming later in the week, but none of them are going to be as intense as Storm Chandra. Let me show you exactly what the Met Office warnings look like right now, because this is important. For today and tomorrow, we have an amber warning for parts of Cornwall and the southwest. Heavy rain, potentially dangerous amounts. Then we've got a blanket yellow warning across southwestern Wales extending as far east as Portsmouth. That entire southwestern corner of the UK, probably as far northeast as Somerset, is under warnings. For southern parts of Northern Ireland, there's a yellow warning for rain. And moving on to tomorrow, Tuesday, we've got a very narrow band. This is interesting. A yellow rain and snow warning for the central belt of Scotland through northern England, extending as far south as the Peak District around Buxton and northwards, then through the Highlands of Scotland. Now, here's something I need to tell you. I would expect this warning area to expand. The showers are going to be more widespread than what is currently shown, but up in the Scottish Islands, they don't issue warnings quite as readily because folks up there are used to this kind of weather. It's just Tuesday for them. But here is the severe one, the one you really need to pay attention to. An amber wind warning across the northeast of Northern Ireland. The exact text says Storm Chandra bringing very strong winds leading to potential for damage and disruption on Tuesday. 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are expected. Coastal locations seeing gusts of 75. But here's what they're not saying officially. I wouldn't rule out 80 to 85 miles per hour in isolated spots. And on the southern side, toward Limerick and that southern coast of the Republic of Ireland, I would not rule out 75 to 80 miles per hour at all. So let me summarize where we are. It's wet for many of us. Obviously wet. Tuesday is going to be a wet day for many people. Not great weather at all. You've got a yellow warning extending to the southeast, which is another rain warning, because we were going to see massive rainfall accumulation through Monday night into Tuesday. But here is the thing. For most of us, it's just going to be cold rain with a bit of hill snow. If you have 200 meters of elevation on your side, you could see some wintry conditions and maybe a covering in places. But the main risk, the thing that could actually damage property and hurt people, is wind across Northern Ireland. Now, comment below with your location because I want to give you specific details. Are you in Belfast? Are you in Derry? Are you in Newcastle? Are you in Plymouth? Tell me where you are and I'll tell you exactly what to expect. Let me take you through what the weather models are showing for the coming days because this matters for your planning. Today has been weird with the models. They've been all over the place. But the 12 Zulu runs are out now, so we have better data. Obviously, Storm Chandra moves in through Tuesday, bringing those strong winds, particularly affecting Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, but also hitting Western England. Heavy rain is moving in as well. Beyond that, we are already seeing low pressure systems trying to move in from the west, coming up against higher pressure blocking to the east. Typically, the Atlantic is winning this battle. We continue to see low pressure systems rattling in off the Atlantic. Eventually, the American model does turn quite cold at the end of its run, but I must tell you, that scenario is not favored at the moment. It does go into quite a blocked cold pattern, quite wintry as well, but we are not talking about that today. What we are looking at is low pressure systems dominating until at least 168 hours out. That S7 days. We re-seeing continued low pressure systems, some of which could be named storms, bringing strong winds and heavy rain, particularly to southwestern areas. That's the general trend. Unsettled. Atlantic driven. The European model shows low pressure systems coming up against the blocking high and weakening, but still bringing plenty of heavy rain. We re-looking on the less cold or milder side of the jet stream. The jet stream is still positioned southward, but we still seeing Atlantic-driven systems moving in, dragging southwesterly winds, looking quite mild, wet, and windy. The colder air is being limited to the northeast. Here is something to watch. There is potential for a stratospheric warming event at the end of February. That could change everything. But that S 3 to 4 weeks away, so let S not get ahead of ourselves. The general trend looks unsettled, to be honest. It's quite Atlantic, driven by the looks of things at this stage. Some colder model runs are in the mix, but they've reduced over the last few days. We are looking at around average temperatures for the next week. Then from around the 7th of February, we might go a little bit below average. Very tentative though, because it S longer term and the models have been flipping around a lot recently. Now, let me give you city by city details because this is what you really need to know. London and the southeast. You are under a yellow rain warning through Tuesday. Expect persistent rain Monday night into Tuesday morning. Total rainfall 25 to 35 millimeters. That S about 1 to 1.4 inches. Winds will be gusty 30 to 40 miles per hour, but nothing like what the north and west are seeing. Main travel disruption will be from surface water on roads. The rain clears Tuesday afternoon, leaving cloudy skies and scattered showers. Temperature around 7 to 9 degrees Celsius. Bristol and the southwest. You are in the amber warning zone. This is serious. 50 to 70 millimeters of rain possible, that S2 to nearly 3 inches, falling on already saturated ground. Flooding is likely in usual trouble spots. Wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour, possibly 70 on exposed coasts. If you are in Cornwall, particularly the north coast, this is as bad as it gets. The rain eases Tuesday morning, but damage assessment will take days. Stay home if you can. Birmingham and the Midlands. You are looking at heavy rain Monday night, 30 to 40 millimeters, that's 1.2 to 1.6 inches. The rain band moves through relatively quickly, clearing by Tuesday lunchtime. Winds 30 to 40 miles per hour, blustery but not dangerous. Main impact will be Tuesday morning commute. Roads will be wet, visibility poor. Give yourself extra time. Manchester and northwest England. Here S where it gets complicated. Rain Monday night transitions to sleet, then hill snow over higher ground. The Pennines could see 5 to 10 centimetres, that S2 to 4 inches. In the city centre, just cold rain. But if you live in Oldham, Rochdale, or anywhere with elevation, you might wake up to snow Tuesday morning, winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, travel disruption likely on Transpennine routes. Leeds and Yorkshire, similar story. Heavy rain transitions to hill snow. Yorkshire Dales, North York Moors, anywhere above 300 metres could see significant snow. 10 to 15 centimetres possible, that S4 to 6 inches on the highest ground. The city itself stays as rain. Winds 35 to 45 miles per hour. Tuesday afternoon might see some brighter spells, but staying cold. 6 to 7 degrees. Newcastle and the northeast. You are on the eastern side of the system, which means you get a prolonged period of rain and hill snow Tuesday. Not the worst of the winds, 25 to 35 miles per hour, but the precipitation persists longer. Coastal areas see rain. Inland and higher elevation areas see snow. The Cheviots could see 20 centimetres, that S 8 inches. This continues well into Tuesday evening. Liverpool and Merseyside, you're in the firing line for wind. Irish Sea funneling effect means gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour are likely. Heavy rain as well, 30 to 40 millimetres, but it is the wind that's the main concern. Secure garden furniture, check roof tiles. The worst period is midnight to 8 in the morning Tuesday. Ferry services will be disrupted or cancelled, Glasgow and central Scotland. Heavy rain transitions to hill snow over higher ground. The city sees rain, the hills see snow. Simple as that. But here's the thing, this continues throughout Tuesday and into Wednesday. You are on the eastern side of the system, so you get persistent precipitation. Winds 30 to 40 miles per hour in the city, stronger on higher ground, temperature around 4 to 6 degrees. The Trossachs and higher areas of the central belt could see 15 to 20 centimetres of snow, that SE's 6 to 8 inches, Edinburgh and the Lothians. Similar to Glasgow, persistent rain in the city, hill snow on the Pentlands and higher ground. The rain continues longer here because you are further east. Could still be raining Tuesday evening. Winds 25 to 35 miles per hour, not the worst of it. Temperature 5 to 7 degrees. Main disruption will be on routes over higher ground, the A68, the A7, those kinds of roads. Aberdeen and the northeast. You're already getting hit as I record this. Snow on higher ground, rain at lower elevations. This continues through Tuesday. The Cairngorms are going to see massive snowfall, possibly 30 to 40 centimetres. That S 12 to 16 inches. In the city, persistent rain and sleet, winds 30 to 40 miles per hour, temperature around 4 to 5 degrees. This is a long duration event for you, not intense, but persistent. Inverness and the Highlands, you're going to get hammered. There's no other way to say it. The Highlands are going to see the most snow, 20 to 30 centimeters widely, that S 8 to 12 inches. Higher peaks could see 40 to 50 centimeters, that S 16 to 20 inches. This is a major snow event for the Highlands, winds 40 to 50 miles per hour, creating drifting, mountain roads impassable. This continues through Tuesday and Wednesday, temperature around 2 to 4 degrees, but feeling much colder in the wind. Belfast and Northern Ireland. This is your worst weather event in months. The amber warning is not exaggerated. 60 to 70 mile per hour gusts are expected, 75 on coasts, possibly 85 in the most exposed spots. That S hurricane force. Heavy rain as well, 40 to 50 millimeters, 1.6 to 2 inches. The worst period is Tuesday morning, roughly 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Structural damage is possible. Trees will come down. Power cuts are likely. If you don't need to go out, Don-T, Cardiff and South Wales, you under yellow warning. Heavy rain, 30 to 40 millimeters, winds 40 to 50 miles per hour. The Brecon Beacons could see hill snow, 5 to 10 centimeters, 2 to 4 inches. In Cardiff itself, just wind and rain. The worst of it passes through Tuesday morning. Clears to showers Tuesday afternoon. Temperature 7 to 9 degrees. Now, here is what happens Wednesday. Many of us see at least some sunshine. Brighter day overall. The main exception is the Northern Isles of Scotland, where it stays cloudy with outbreaks of rain. Eastern Scotland still sees snow on higher ground as showers continue to feed in. There will be rain showers for Wales, southwest England, and a few for Northern Ireland, but nothing like the torrential rain of Tuesday. It'll still be quite windy Wednesday, but the winds are notched down from Tuesday's potentially damaging gusts. For southern Scotland, northern England, and East Anglia, it's actually a dry and bright day. Just a bit of a breeze. Temperatures a little below average, 7 to 9 degrees, perhaps 10 Celsius in the southwest, but feeling cooler in those brisk winds. Here's what I need you to understand about the rest of the week. There will be further spells of wet and windy weather throughout this week. This isn't a one and done situation. Storm Chandra is the headline act, but there are support acts coming later in the week. None as severe, but still unsettled. The pattern we ray in is Atlantic dominated. That means weather systems keep rolling in from the west. Some will bring rain, some will bring wind, some will bring both. Scotland continues to see wintry showers because that southeasterly wind keeps feeding in cold air, and here's your teaser for what's coming. Remember I mentioned that potential stratospheric warming event at the end of February? If that happens, and it's a big if, we could see a complete pattern change. We are talking about cold air from Siberia and Scandinavia potentially making a move westward. That could bring a late winter cold snap, but that is 3 to 4 weeks away and the models are still uncertain. What we know for certain is this. Tuesday is a day to stay home if you can. If you are in Northern Ireland, southwestern England, or southwestern Wales, this is serious. Amber warnings mean danger to life and property. Take them seriously. If you are in the yellow warning areas, expect disruption. Plan ahead, charge your phone, have a torch handy, make sure you have food in the house, check on vulnerable neighbours. If you in Scotland and you live on higher ground, prepare for snow, not a dusting. Proper snow, the kind that blocks roads and cuts off communities. Have supplies, have a backup plan. For everyone else, it's going to be a wet, windy, miserable day. But it's not dangerous if you are sensible. Don't take risks. Don't drive through floodwater. Don't park under trees. Don't attempt to clear debris in high winds. The rain totals I've given you are based on current models. They could be higher, they could be lower, but they in the right ballpark. The wind speeds I've given you are educated estimates based on model data and experience. The strongest gusts always exceed the forecast in exposed locations. One more time, comment below with your location and I'll give you specific details. I am monitoring this situation continuously. If warnings are upgraded, I'll update you. If new information comes in, you will hear it here. Remember, at the 5-minute mark, I promise to deliver on the value. Here it is, the 3 things you must do in the next 2 hours. 1. Secure anything outside that could blow away or cause damage. Garden furniture, trampolines, bins, anything loose. 2. Check your drains and gutters. If they reblocked, you are going to flood. Clear them now while you still can. 3. Charge all your devices. Power cuts are possible, especially in Northern Ireland and the southwest. Have a fully charged phone, tablet, laptop, power bank. Those 3 actions done in the next 2 hours will make Tuesday significantly less stressful for you. Now, here's what is interesting about the longer-term pattern. We restuck in this Atlantic-driven setup. The jet stream is positioned in such a way that it is funneling these systems right at us. Until that changes, until we get a significant blocking pattern or a shift in the jet stream, we're going to keep seeing unsettled weather. The temperatures are actually relatively mild for late January. We were looking at 7 to 10 degrees for most of England and Wales. That S above average. Scotland is colder, 4 to 7 degrees, but that is because you are seeing more northerly winds. Northern Ireland is in the middle, 6 to 8 degrees. But here's the thing about mild temperatures in winter. They come with rain. Cold winters are often dry, mild winters are wet, and we are certainly seeing the wet part. The ground is saturated across much of the UK. Months of above average rainfall have left soils waterlogged. Any additional rain now causes immediate runoff and flooding. That S is why these warnings are so serious. It is not just about how much rain falls Tuesday, it is about how much rain has already fallen in December and January. Some rivers are already at bank full, some are above. The southwest is particularly vulnerable. Rivers in Devon and Cornwall have flooded multiple times this winter. Tuesday's rain could cause them to flood again. Environment Agency flood warnings are in place across multiple regions. If you live near a river, check the Environment Agency website. Know your flood risk. Have a plan. Know where you will go if you need to evacuate. It probably won't come to that, but it's better to have a plan you don't need than to need a plan you don't have. And here is something else to think about. The ground is saturated. The winds are strong. That combination brings down trees. Trees don't need to be dead or diseased. Healthy trees can come down when the ground is soft and the winds are high. The roots simply lose their grip. If you live near large trees, be aware. Don't park under them during the storm. Don't shelter under them. If a tree comes down on your property, don't touch it if there are power lines involved. Call the emergency services. For those of you interested in the meteorology, here's what makes Storm Chandra interesting. It's a relatively compact low-pressure system with a very tight pressure gradient. That tight gradient is what is producing the strong winds. The southern flank, where the gradient is tightest, is where we see the strongest winds. The system is also moving relatively quickly, which is good news and bad news. Good news because the worst of the weather doesn't last too long in any one place. Bad news because it is harder to pinpoint exact timing and impacts. The transition zone between rain and snow is always difficult to forecast. Temperature at ground level, temperature at altitude, how quickly the precipitation falls, all of these factors affect where that rain-snow line sits. I've given you elevations, 200 meters, 300 meters, 500 meters, but understand that these are approximations. Reality might differ by 50 or 100 meters either way. What I can tell you with confidence is that significant snow is coming to the Scottish mountains. That S certain. Hill snow for northern England is likely. Hill snow for the central belt of Scotland is likely. Everything else is rain unless you are on high ground. And here is the final piece of information you need. Wednesday is better. Thursday is similar to Wednesday. Friday might see another weather system, but nothing like Tuesday. The weekend is still uncertain in the models, but it looks like we'll see a continuation of this unsettled pattern. More rain, more wind. Nothing extreme, but nothing pleasant either. This is the pattern we're in. This is what late January looks like when the Atlantic is in charge. System after system, rain after rain, wind after wind. It's relentless. It's exhausting, but it's what we've got. For my Scottish viewers who are going to see significant snow, remember that this is winter. This is what the Highlands do. This is normal for late January. It is the rest of the UK that is seeing unusual conditions. For Scotland, this is just weather. But for Northern Ireland, for the southwest of England, for southwestern Wales, this is significant. This is dangerous. This requires preparation and respect. So one final time, comment your location below. Tell me where you are watching from. I'll give you specific details for your area. I am here. I am monitoring, I am updating, and keep watching because next week I am going to break down that potential stratospheric warming event. If it happens, if the models are right, we could be looking at a completely different weather pattern by mid-February. Cold, possibly snowy, completely different from what we are seeing now. But that next week story, this week story is Storm Chandra, heavy rain, strong winds, hill snow, amber warnings, yellow warnings, flood risk, wind damage risk, power cut risk. Tuesday is not a day to take chances. It's a day to stay safe, stay informed, stay home if you can. The information I've given you is current as of now. Warnings can be upgraded, forecasts can change. Check the Met Office website or app regularly. Check Environment Agency flood warnings. Stay informed. And remember those 3 actions. Secure loose items, check drains and gutters, charge your devices. Do those 3 things in the next 2 hours and you will be as prepared as you can be. Stay safe out there. This is significant weather. Treat it with the respect it deserves. And I'll see you in the next update with more details on what's coming later this week and that potential pattern change for February. Comment your location below right now. Let me know where you are and I'll give you the specific forecast you need for your exact area.